Happy NBA Draft Day, everybody. Today we are doing a NBA Draft watch party. We're breaking down every single pick, every single selection, grading it, you name it, man. It's going to be a long night. Just so you guys are aware, we are Sixers fans, so we'll be talking a lot of Sixers, a lot of trade rumors, all the above. Guys, if you're watching, please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to comment with us all night long. I've also got a collection of Sixers draft trivia. It's going to be hard, Mark. Be prepared for this because it's going to be hard. I purposely made it hard. So be sure to comment in the chat. And if you get it right before Mark does, we'll maybe give some points here tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. But what's going on, Mark? I've got Mark Henry Jr. from Fox Sports The Gambler and Chalk Talk and all of that. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm excited. This is one of my favorite days of the year. I love the NBA draft. Not quite as much as the NFL draft. The NFL draft is number one. NBA draft is probably like my third. I was thinking about it today. I think it's my third favorite day of the year. I think it goes NFL draft 1, first day of March Madness number 2, and then I think I would put the NBA draft number 3, especially when the Sixers are at the top of the draft. At least we still have a pick for now at 23 in terms of us as Sixers fans, but there's a lot more outside of the Sixers that's going to be really interesting in this draft. So a lot of people have been tweeting at me or just talking to me in general about how they're not very interested in this draft, or they're not compelled by any of the players, or even from a Sixers standpoint. I think it's a great draft. I think that the top's really good. I think the top 4 is as strong as the top 4 in recent memory. Maybe last year's a little better, but I think the top 4 is going to be really, really strong. And I think that there's a lot of diamonds in the rough, and there's a lot of opportunities for the Sixers to find value at 23. I'm excited for the draft.
Dude, I've fallen head over heels with a lot of these guys. We were talking earlier before we went live. Like, I've got a solid 10 in my rankings that I'm good. I would be 100% good with if the Sixers ended up with one of these guys. Right now, as we sit, it is 8:06. It looks like the pick will be traded in some sort of package. Could be 2 teams, could be 3 teams. We will be reacting to it live. We've got Shane in the house saying Kevin Durant is a bum. I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the very near future because we got some news happening right now we got to get to. Devin is in the house. What's going on, Devin? Thanks for joining. Sixers getting Malachi Branham. You love Malachi Branham. That's one of your boys.
Yeah, I absolutely love Malachi Branham. I don't think he's going to last all the way to us at 10 or at 23. I have him ranked at 10. I clearly think he's an incredible prospect. I think he's a top 10 prospect, 19 years old. And he's such an efficient scorer, 50% from the field, 42% from 3, 83% from the line. I think he can create for others. I think he can score for himself. I think Malachi Branham's got a really, really high potential. And I'm not necessarily comparing him to this player because I don't think that they're all that similar. But the way that Donovan Mitchell went 13th and then very much outperformed that, became one of the best players in the class, I don't think that's outside of the question for Malachi Branham, who I do think is going to end up going in the lottery. But speaking of the lottery, we've got the first pick coming up here with the Magic. They're showing old Shaq and Penny and all the times that Orlando has won the lottery or got to pick high. Dwight Howard, obviously, as well in 2004. And here they are again. And it seemed all along that it was going to be Jabari Smith.
Crazy.
Everyone, and Woj tweeted out it's increasingly likely that it's Jabari Smith. The odds went crazy this morning back towards Jabari Smith. That was a lock that he was going to be the number 1 pick. But here we are, and Woj is coming up on the screen, my buddy Adrian, and he's about to tell us that I think Paolo Banchero is going overall number 1 to the Orlando Magic.
He's always been on the outside. He's always been on. It was really, I think the majority of the discussion was Chet or Paolo, and here we are. So Paolo Banchero goes. Is it official yet? I can't.
Not official yet. Not official yet. But Woj is saying that it looks like that's what's going on.
All right. So here we are. I've been a Jabari Smith guy. I know Mark is a Chet Holmgren guy. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of these top 3, to be honest. They're all very good prospects. We've got 2 minutes on the clock. The pick is in for the Orlando Magic. Who is it going to be? This is exciting, man. I love the shakeup here, in already the first pick. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long. It
is official. It is official. Paolo Banchero, number 1 overall to the Orlando Magic. Paolo Banchero, I had him ranked basically 1B. I had him ranked, but I ended up putting him at 2 behind Chet Holmgren. You could swing me to believe that Paolo should go number 1, though. I think this is a better pick than Jabari Smith would have been. Paolo's 19 with he's 6'10 with a 7'1 wingspan. He averaged 17, 8, and 3 on 48% from the field, 34% from 3, 73% from the line. There's no doubt about it. He's the best player in this draft right now and will be a really safe bet to win Rookie of the Year. To steal a comp from the ESPN Draft Show now and also from the Ringer's NBA Draft Guide, he's got a ton of Chris Webber to him. And he reminds me a lot of Chris Webber as a prospect, kind of an evolutionary Chris Webber because of his shooting ability. I think if Chris Webber came along now, he'd probably have that shooting ability. But Paolo's a very versatile scorer. Grew up as a guard before a growth spurt, has a ton of guard skills when it comes to cutting, passing, dribbling. Now he can do all of that while rebounding and being a great lob threat at near 7 feet tall. He's got the ability to be a great and versatile defender and a potential small ball 5. Good help defender, closes out well. Not a lot of consistency on defense, but that happens a lot in the college game. There's questions about his ceiling in a way that I remember to Jason Tatum. I remember a lot of people said the same about Jason Tatum's ceiling, and I think it's just as unfair here. He's not exactly similar to Tatum, but I think he could be a very similar level player and a very similar in terms of the way that he steps in right away from college. And he's a top 30 to 40 player in the league. I think Paolo's going to put up 20-plus points per game. And I think he's going to be a really good player right away. I've heard Jalen Green be mentioned as the Rockets franchise player. If Paolo would have went number 3, and if anyone would have went number 3, Paolo is a better prospect than Jalen Green was last year, than Evan Mobley was last year, in my opinion. I think Paolo is a great, great prospect. He's wearing a fantastic suit. And it's also before I just let Tides chime in on Paolo, the second pick is also in, and Oklahoma City has taken. Oh, wait a second.
Well, you're ahead of me.
We've got reporters disagreeing. I've never seen this before.
What?
Mark Stein and Chris Haynes are saying Oklahoma is going to select Jabari Smith with the second pick, but Woj just came off the top rope with an elbow and said Chet Holmgren remains the front runner for Oklahoma City at number 2. So I don't know what's going on. I was about to announce Jabari as official because I've got the Twitter notifications on here, but wow. This is exciting, folks.
I love it, man. No, I think
much better than this.
Yeah, how about the Julius Randle comparison? Any thoughts on Paolo being kind of a Julius Randle clone? He's got ability. The talent is all there. We'll see if it clicks, especially defensively. But he's going to be awesome, man. He's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Randle, maybe if we're talking about last year's Randle, which I do think was the best case version of Julius Randle, I think that's what Paolo is going to be. And so that is a very good comp. I mean, Chris Webber, I think there's a lot of Webber. I think there's a lot of Tatum. But now you're saying Randle. I think there's a lot of Randle. He is definitely a combination of a lot of different guys who are multiple skilled. And Paolo can be the lead initiator. He can go and get a bucket. And I do think long-term he can be a pretty good small ball 5. So I'm definitely really high on Paolo.
Oh, man. My nerves, man.
Oh, I'm not nervous about the Sixers quite yet.
I am. All right, so where does OKC go here?
Chet Holmgren.
You think they're going Chet?
No, it's from Shams. Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren.
Number 2 to Oklahoma City.
All right.
Let me bump the stream here real quick, and then I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown on Chet Holmgren. I think you were you. I don't think you're out on Chet, right? Is that fair to say?
No, I'm out. I just don't see superstars in these guys. I think all 3 are going to be very good NBA players, potential all-stars. I think Chet has the highest ceiling to be a superstar, potential unicorn, of course. There's pretty much nothing he can't do. He just needs to build his frame. He just needs to add strength, of course. So for me, Paulo is going to step right in and impact the game immediately. Jabari Smith is going to be an elite role player again. But, those players are extremely valuable in today's NBA. And then you get Chet Holmgren, who he's going to get bodied. He's going to get bodied down low. But he's just so rare and so unique that who knows how he translates to the NBA? Who really knows? But that body, I swear, is definitely scary.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit less nervous about the body anomalies. If you'll cross sport reference here. A lot of people were nervous, and I think still some people would be nervous about Devontae Smith and his body and his weight for the NFL draft. I think that there's certain guys who just break the mold, and I think Chet Holmgren's one of those guys. He's a 20-year-old freshman, so a little bit old for a freshman, but he's a 7-footer with a 7'6" wingspan, and a lot of people like to act like he's a complete question mark. And we don't necessarily know what Chet is. He still averaged 14 and 10 with 2 assists, 3.6 blocks, 0.8 steals. He shot 61% from the field, 39% from 3-point, 72% from the line. I think he's a one-of-one unicorn. Shoots threes, rebounds, blocks shots, can roll or pop off of a pick, a bit ambidextrous, slides his feet really well for his size and frame. He's got incredible lateral movement. Can close out in the switch. I'm really high on Chet. Jason Blevins from the Painted Lines mentioned pre-ACL Kristaps as a comparison, and I think maybe I keep using the term evolutionary, but I think he would kind of been if Kristaps would have continued to get better and fulfilled his full potential. Maybe that's what we're talking about with Chet. But I think Chet moves far better laterally than Kristaps did even before the injury. And I think he's a better athlete than Kristaps was even before the injury. So I am really, really high on Chet. I think Chet's a better prospect than Kristaps was, for example, just to compare him to that. I think Chet's a really, really good prospect. I had him number 1, basically right ahead of Paolo at number 2, but you can't go wrong either way, in my opinion.
All right, as Chet is officially in part of the OKC Thunder. All right, we are rolling. Jabari Smith is falling to number 3 here. Yeah, it's going to be really curious. Like, where do you think the board falls now? We have the Houston Rockets about to be on the clock. Do they get a point guard? Do they get a power forward? A wing? Jabari Smith could look good right there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just biased to the two-way guys like Jabari Smith, man. 3-point percentage, extremely good. Can play defense, great length. I think we sell him short on being like an elite 3-and-D player as well. Of course, he needs to learn how to create his own shot. He needs to work on shot creation and creating separation at the next level for sure. But I think the tools are all there for sure.
Yeah, Jabari's the safest of the 3, I'd probably say, just in terms of who's the most likely, like percentage-wise, to just be a good starter in the NBA. Jabari's probably number 1 on that list. I just don't see the franchise player potential in Jabari that I see with Chet, with Paolo, and even with Jaden Ivey. I actually have Jaden Ivey ranked number 3 and Jabari ranked number 4 on my big board. But Jabari is going to be a good 3-and-D forward who shoots a really high percentage from 3 and is able to defend the forward positions. I mean, that is exactly what he's going to be. And that's incredibly valuable in today's NBA. Like you said, those two-way guys, and especially wings in today's NBA. I mean, we just saw with Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is the second best player on a finals team. So they are incredibly important. I understand that. I just think when you're picking at the top of the draft, you really have to be looking for the best chance at a franchise player. And especially in the situation Houston's in with so many picks in the future. And definitely, I mean, a lot of people like Jalen Green. I don't think Jalen Green's a franchise player. So I think that they should they're going to go and take Jabari Smith, and I would consider Jaden Ivey more than they probably will. But they're going to take Jabari Smith, and I understand why. I think it's a bad landing spot for Jabari. I like Jabari. If Jabari would have went number 1 to Orlando, he would have been the number 1 pick. He would have been the guy that everything is tailored around in Orlando, like it's going to be with Paolo. If he would have went number 2 to Oklahoma City, he would have had Josh Giddey, SGA, both good passers, point guards, to get him the ball in his spots among the 3-point line and to manufacture easy buckets for him. Houston is going to be just like chucking shots away with him and Jalen Green, and it's going to be ISO ball. I don't think that it's going to be a great fit for Smith. I think the best fit for Smith probably would have been going right here at number 2 to OKC. But yeah, I think Jabari Smith, and he does not look happy in the crowd. I think Jabari Smith's a really, really good player, like I said, and I really don't want to sound like too negative on him. Yeah. But I will just say, more than Chet, more than Paolo, more than Ivy, even honestly, if you want to stretch it, more than Keegan Murray, more than Benedict Matheran. If you watched all those guys play in college, more than those guys, there was like 5 to 10 minute stretches where you're like, wait, Jabari Smith was out there? And that, a lot of people have blamed that on Auburn's offense, and they had a really ball dominant point guard who was not very efficient, but was shooting a ton of times and wasn't getting Jabari Smith the ball as much as he should. But there was a lot of times there where he definitely disappeared a bit more than you'd want a franchise potential player to disappear. And that's kind of what I always remembered every time I got close to inching Jabari above any of my top 3. That was kind of what I got nervous about.
Yep. All right. Looks like Houston will be looking at Jabari Smith here. Tyler chimes in. Sixers packaging teasing the pick. Book that. I agree. We will keep you updated at the second that news breaks, man. We're all over it. Devin says, any chance Jaden Ivey falls past 4? I don't know. We will see if the Kings take Ivy, but it looks like Jabari Smith will go to the Rockets. Jabari Smith is a great shooter, 42% from 3 on really good volume, 10.8 attempts per 100 possessions. He averaged 1.2 points per catch and shoot jump shot, good for 91st percentile, 1.07 points per dribble jumper, 96th percentile last year. And he's a very versatile defender. He allowed 0.55 points per one-on-one possession, 86th percentile. Plays with really good intensity, plays with really good energy. But Jaden Ivey is a really intriguing prospect in his regard. Jaden Ivey could be like a Ja Morant kind of dude. He's very explosive. He's very electrifying, loves to attack the rim, get downhill. He does a great job getting into the paint. And, he can be a pretty solid perimeter defender. So, it's interesting, like ranking these guys because they're all really, really talented.
Yeah, I love Jaden Ivey, and that one question where they asked, "Is there any chance he falls past 4?" A couple days ago, I would have said, "Yeah." There was a lot of rumors that Sacramento loved Keegan Murray, but they apparently were asking for just an absolute ton to trade up for Ivy. So I think after so many teams called offering a lot for Ivy, I think they finally were like, "Oh, maybe we should pick him." So I think the Kings are actually going to make the right call and just stick there and take Jaden Ivey. We'll see pretty shortly, but it's definitely it would be a massive mistake if they don't take Jaden Ivey, in my opinion.
What's your comp for Jabari Smith? Is he like a Chris Bosh, like Rashard Lewis type of guy?
Yeah, Rashard Lewis is a really, really good comp for Jabari Smith. I think there's I always say what Harrison Barnes was supposed to be, kind of like as a draft prospect. And he was like the number 1 recruit coming out of high school, Harrison Barnes. He was like a prodigy, and he ended up going top 7, I believe, in his draft. I kind of think like what Harrison Barnes was supposed to be is what he's going to be. He's going to be probably like a very rich man's Harrison Barnes. And a lot of people are going to hear that and be like, ooh, Harrison Barnes. I actually really like Harrison Barnes. Like, I think Harrison Barnes is a better player than Tobias Harris. So I really like Harrison Barnes, and I think Jabari Smith will kind of be a better defensive version of Harrison Barnes if I had to take a guess. But Rashard Lewis is a very good comp. Rashard Lewis would probably be a lot more appreciated today than he was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Definitely.
We have Edge of Philly Sports in the house, and Sixers making a move. Yep, we are just awaiting, waiting all night long, just waiting for that deal to go down. It sounds like it will be traded at some point So we are getting ready for the Sacramento Kings to get on the clock. Jaden Ivey, it looks like, will go to the Kings. We don't know that yet. But who are some other options that they might go with here?
What? I'm sorry. I took a bite of something. I thought I had a minute to eat real quick. The Kings picked Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray going to the Sacramento Kings.
They didn't even trade down.
Holy cow. All right.
What are you doing, Sacramento?
Sacramento being Sacramento here, I guess. Oh, no. All right. Let's talk about Keegan Murray. You know, he's a very good combo forward for a prospect. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife, can do a little bit of everything. What do you think about Keegan Murray?
I like him. He's okay. I have him as my number. I have him as my number 7 prospect, and so that makes it sound like I really like him. I think there's a huge gap from number 4 to number 5, and an even bigger gap from number 4 to number 6. And I have Jaden Ivey at number 3. So Sacramento taking Keegan Murray, who I have at 7, over Jaden Ivey, who I have at 3. A lot of people look at that and be like, oh, that's not that big of a difference. There's a huge gap from that 3 to 7 for me. Keegan Murray will be a solid player. He averaged 23.5 and 8.7 on 55 and 40 shooting in terms of percentages. It's a bit scary with a guy that's a bit older, might be a bit of a finished product.
He's almost 22. He's almost 22.
Yeah, he's old. Jaden Ivey, very much, like clay. Like, you're going to have to mold Jaden Ivey into being that Ja Morant type guy. Keegan Murray is what he is. Maybe Sacramento is just desperate to win. That is so. Wow. I usually don't curse, but there's am I allowed to curse, Dubs?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? We're all going to be
I forget sometimes. I'm on radio now. I got the FCC watching me. But there's the logo that says "so fucking stupid," and the Kings is the logo in the middle for fucking stupid. That is what the Kings are. It's what they were when they picked Bagley over Luka Doncic, and it's what they are right now. Nick Stauskas. That's great.
We have Amadeo. Amadeo's in the house saying, "Sup, gentlemen? Thanks for joining, Amadeo." Pistons got a silver platter. Holy shit!
I love Jaden Ivey to the Pistons. Please make the right call, Detroit. If you remember last year, Dives, I am a huge Cade Cunningham guy. Like, I think he's got Luka level potential. I think Cade is a stud. Jaden Ivey would be the perfect running mate.
Get your star, man. Get the Kings. I guess Keegan Murray's going to be like a plug and play kind of wing from the jump. Maybe even play a little small ball 5. Who knows? But that's not it, man. That's not it.
I mean, if Detroit gets Jaden Ivey right here without giving up an asset to get up, they won the draft. I don't care what happens for the rest of the night. Detroit won this draft if they get Jaden Ivey at 5 without giving up any picks. I have a friend. I hope he's watching. Maybe he'll chime in. I know he's going nuts though. He's a huge Pistons fan. I think he's the biggest Pistons fan that's outside of Michigan, if I had to guess. Jake the Sane is his name. You can follow him on Twitter. Look him up. I go back and forth with him a lot if anyone's out there. But if we got any Pistons fans chiming in too. But we were going back and forth. Like, I was saying, like, Detroit should give up 2 first-round picks to get 1 pick up just to take Ivy to 4. Like, I was saying they had to do whatever it took to get Ivy, because in 3 years, they're not going to care what they gave up to get their 2 stars together. I think Ivy and Cade are just so perfect. Ivy brings the athleticism that maybe Cade is lacking. And while Ivy's a point guard, he's not like the prototypical, Steve Nash point guard. He's like a creator, and he doesn't necessarily have to have the ball in his hands all the time. So Cade being that 3 who's going to kind of be like Luka, where he's a point guard a bit of the time, they get to share back and forth, almost in a Kyrie LeBron, like back and forth. There's not one ball handler. You have both of them. Not that they're Kyrie and LeBron. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited, folks. Jaden Ivey and Cade are my 2 favorite college players from the last 2 years. And now they're going to be together. Detroit's my second team now.
We have Amadeo saying poverty franchise in Sacramento. We've got Blue City Empire Sports saying let's go Sixers. I say we take a break and we're going to do 2 trivia questions right now. It's going to be Mark versus the fans. Mark versus the fans. Whoever gets it first gets the point. Let's do this. Let's see how this goes.
All
right, Mark. So, guys, if you're watching, please be sure to comment your guesses here. Name that Sixer from the combine. Ready, Mark?
I'm not gonna be able to do it, but let's do it.
6'6" without shoes, 6'8" wingspan, 51st overall pick. Came from Creighton.
Creighton. I'm not as good on the second rounders as you. How long ago?
I'm not. For some, I put dates, but for the name the combine ones, I did not because I thought this was pretty easy.
Oh man,
You're gonna kill yourself with this one.
I know. I'm so bad at trivia. Oh,
come on, man.
I'm so nervous. I just have like the same 4 names running around in my head, and I know none of them went to Creighton. I just keep running. Oh my god.
6'6", 6'8" wingspan, was the 51st overall pick, and he came from Creighton. Who am I? Name that Sixers draft pick.
I don't know who this is. I like my head keeps going to like Arsalan Kazemi. and like Paul Reed and like
Ben Butler. Shake. It is not Shake. Devin says I'm stumped. Wow, we're just gonna move on. It is Kyle Korver.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know where Kyle Korver got drafted. I'll be quite honest. Yeah, that's too old for me. I remember Korver as the Sixers, probably one of my first jerseys. I still have it around. I probably had it when I was like 5 years old. I was a big Korver guy growing up.
All right, one more before we move on. Name that local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 6'2", 6'5" wingspan, 7th overall pick in the 2006 draft.
Oh, I'm not gonna get it.
And he's from Villanova.
Sixers took a Villanova guy in 2006?
It says from the Philadelphia area. It doesn't say he's a Sixers.
Oh, Kyle Lowry, right?
Very close. Very close. Anybody got that one?
Yeah, this is before my time. If you gave me process, I would have had Royce White in the second round from Iowa State ready to go. But
I'm saying, wow, we're over 2 with the fans. There it is. Matt McGinnis in the house. It is Randy Foy.
He's Candy Boy Randy Foy. He's Matt's a true Nova guy. I'm a fake Nova guy. I became a Nova guy when Ryan Arcidiacono went to Villanova in 2012 from the Chamonix because I interviewed him for the high school newspaper as a budding young journalist. So I was very hoping that he made the NBA, which he did, and he more than made the NBA, won a title at Villanova. So that's really what made me a Villanova fan. I always rooted for all of the Philly teams growing up. My dad went to LaSalle. My mom went to Temple and St. Joe's. Actually, funny story behind that. But so yeah, I pull for all of them. But Villanova, they got my heart with Arch.
So let's talk about Detroit. So they've got Kate Cunningham. They've got Jaden Ivey. What's your player comp for Jaden Ivey? Is it like a mix of like Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, like that kind of stuff?
You nailed it. I wish I could just like show my notes on the screen. A lot of John Morant, a bit of Donovan Mitchell. It's one of the first notes for Jaden Ivey. But yeah, I'm definitely a huge fan. Definitely just a highlight factory is really what it is. He really improved his jumper from his first to his second year, which allowed him to be an elite shot creator out of isolation and pick and roll. One of the quickest first steps in the draft. Can drive and finish with both hands. Great floater in touch, which is rare at his age. Great cutter, great off the ball. And I already said this, but I put it in my notes because it's something that I believe so strongly, and I've been talking about it. I think if you search my Twitter with Ivy, I've probably tweeted multiple times about how badly I want these guys on the same team, Ivy and Cade. He's not the prototypical point guard, but he's the perfect fit with another lead ball handler in Cade. He's a tweener who's got the size and skill to play both guard positions. So Killian Hayes, you could probably play Killian Hayes with him and with Cade, and maybe you throw Sadiq Bey out there as a stretch 4, and you got Beast too. That's a fun lineup right there. There's a lot right away. He falls asleep on defense, Jaden Ivey, but he also has shown moments of just incredible defensive IQ and just incredible heart. In lack of a better phrase, there's a lot of will to win with Jaden Ivey. I hate to just keep glowing about the guy. He's my favorite guy in the draft. I have him number 3 on my board. But if you told me that, this is going to be a crazy statement. You told me Jaden Ivey ends up being a Hall of Famer. I'm not batting an eye.
All right. I just saw a tweet that Woj is reporting the Indiana Pacers are locked in on Arizona's Ben Matheran with the number 6 pick. So here we go.
I like that.
Yep. Amadeus says, well, the Kings, every pick that goes directly after them turns into a star.
100%.
You know who's really happy right now?
Jaden.
Ty Carlin. Ty Carlin's a Pistons fan.
Oh, really? I thought he was a Miami guy. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, for real. So they're actually doing something right here in Detroit. Oh man, Jaden Ivey's super emotional now.
Jaden Ivey gave Matt Painter a hug. Matt Painter, Purdue's head coach. College basketball is a weird thing because I'm a fan of head coaches. That's how I root for my secondary teams. I like Matt Painter. I think he's a smart guy. I like Purdue, even though they lost to St. Peter's in the Sweet 16 and lost me a bunch of money in the tournament. But I like Matt Painter. I like Jaden Ivey. I think he's coming from a good program. I think he's going to be NBA ready. I really could not love this pick anymore if I tried. And they're showing clips. His mom grew up as an assistant in the NBA for the Memphis Grizzlies, and I think for other teams as well. So she's grown up really around the game. I think she was a player before she was a coach. So really cool.
All right, let's talk about Benedict Matheran to the Indiana Pacers. Amazing first step. Kind of that Jaylen Brown mold. He's got the ability to kind of create his own shot here. He's a big game player who's done it in big moments. He's a two-way guy. I just referenced Jaylen Brown, so he's got a lot of potential defensively. What do you think about this fit in Indiana here?
It's a little weird, but I know that they're trading Brogdon, so it makes a lot of sense. I like him. I like Matheran a lot. If you're not sold on Shadon Sharp, then this is the right pick. I think at this point, I like Shadon Sharp a lot, but I understand there's a lot of question marks there. So I understand why someone wouldn't be going all in on him. Benedict Matheran, I talked about him a lot with Sean Barnard. I know Sean Barnard's a big fan of Benedict Matheran. I talked about that on my radio show last week. He loves the guy. And he averaged 18 and 5.5 last year with 2.5 assists. He was the best player on one of the best teams in the country in Arizona. And he's a sophomore, 6'4.5". He's got a great wingspan. There's a lot to be excited about with Matheran, and to steal. I still haven't seen Hustle. Don't yell at me, Dibes. But
oh my God.
But
what are you waiting for?
What is he's got that dog in him? Is that from Hustle? Is that I've been seeing that going around on Twitter.
Dude, you gotta watch. Dude,
I know. I totally will. I totally will. As soon as now, I don't have any draft tape. I don't have any draft tape to break down or anything like that. I'll watch it this weekend. That's my promise to you and the listeners.
Deal.
I will watch Hustle this weekend. But Benedict Matheran's got that Matheran. I always say Matheran. Benedict Matheran has got that dog in him. I mean, he's got that dog in him. So so does Tyrese Halliburton. So you put them together, that's definitely a backcourt with a lot to be excited about in the future with Indiana. So that's fair.
Yep. All right. So now we're just waiting for the Pacers to make their selection. The pick is in. We're just waiting for Adam Silver to make the call. Should we do some more trivia? I say we do some more trivia. In what year was Sixers legend Allen Iverson drafted?
96, right?
96 is correct, Mark.
I know that because there's a lot of it's Dirk and Kobe and him, right? I think I'm missing one. Am I missing one? Dirk and Kobe and him. By the way, I have to say this right now because this is the deciding factor. I have NBA draft prop bets. I tweeted them out earlier. I only have 4 of them. But the one right now is I have Dyson Daniels over 7.5. So I need this 7th pick to not be Dyson Daniels. I need Portland. I need Portland to take anyone but Dyson Daniels. I have Mark Williams under 15.5. So I need Mark Williams to go in the top 15, which I think will happen. And then I have AJ Griffin under 11.5. So I need AJ Griffin to go in these next 4 picks. And I also have AJ Griffin to go over Johnny Davis. AJ Griffin to go before Johnny Davis. So those are my 4 draft prop bets. So I very much hope the 7th pick is not I forget his name now. Dyson Daniels.
I feel like they just who's up on the clock? Is it Portland? I think Portland's on the clock here. Yeah. So I mean they just traded for Jeremy Grant. Shaden Sharp here probably looks really good. What are your thoughts on Shaden Sharp?
I like Shaden Sharp, and I would want to take the swing if I was Portland. Right now, if you're Portland, you either got to figure out the best way to get a star around Dame, or you got to figure out the best way to rebuild after you trade Dame. And I think Shaden Sharp is the home run swing. Number 6 and number 7 are off my board. I really think Shaden Sharp is the only player left with that any type of star potential. I do think that there's other guys that start, like I mentioned Malachi Branham, but you can't take him quite yet. I have Shaden Sharp ranked number 5 overall. My next guy available is Mark Williams and Tari Eason at 8 and 9. So there's a pretty big gap there between those guys. Shaden Sharp is 6'5" with a 6'11 and a half wingspan. That alone, with his ability to create and his ability to shoot, it's hard to not be excited about it. Such length. He didn't play in college at Kentucky. He's definitely the biggest mystery in the draft. And with the skills and shot making ability he has, it's tantalizing enough for me to put him at the top of tier 2. He's an above the rim athlete. He can finish with both hands. He's got the athleticism to be a good defender, but everything is so theoretical with him. And it's the same thing as a passer. It's so theoretical. Kind of reminds me of Darius Garland, where Darius Garland, in a lot of ways, was a mystery coming out of Vanderbilt because he missed so much of his year due to injury. I can't remember. He only played like 5 to 10 games at Vanderbilt. So we had a very limited idea of what Darius Garland was, but what you saw was so exciting that you had to take him really high. That's how I feel about Shaden Sharp. And I really do think he should be this pick at number 7. Devin
says, I would really like Tari Eason. When do we want to talk about our big board? Should we talk about that in a little bit or wait? What?
Yeah, let's wait until Tiago gets on. I think he'll be on around 10, right?
Yeah, he said he'll be on at pick 10. I know Rob is about to join.
Cool.
Talk some draft.
Yeah, you can bring them up if you want, though. Why not? You can.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Portland's on the clock. No announcement yet on the selection. Here are our big boards. There is mine. My number 1. This is all Sixers. My number 1 fit for the Sixers, Tari Eason. Number 2, Dalen Terry. 3, Jake LaRavia. 4, Jaden Hardy. 5, Jalen Williams. 6, EJ Liddell. 7, Kendall Brown. 8, Wendell Moore. 9, Marjan Beauchamp. And then 10, Christian Braun. 1 through 10, I am really good. I'll even include David Roddy. I love David Roddy. 1 through 11, I'm pretty good. But my top 8 there, I love. I love that. If Tari Eason's not there, I love the idea of trading back for the Sixers and getting a high second-round pick in this draft would be absolutely amazing because I think a good chunk of those guys will probably be there. But man, there's some really good fits, like role players, complementary pieces that I think would fit on that Sixers bench from the jump. And it is Sharp to the Portland Trailblazers. Mark, let's go.
Dyson Daniels. See you later. Not going top 7. Plus 150. Give me 1.5 units on that.
Let's go. So we'll go more into this later. Mark, do you want to look at yours, or do you want to go back?
Absolutely. We just talked about Shaedon Sharpe, kind of breaking down why we thought he should be the pick, so I think we covered that already. But I will say the top 7 is off the board, and my top 7 are off the board in terms of my rankings. So while I have disagreed with some of the I guess, the order, the right 7 have went in the top 7. So for sure.
Cool. Nice. So here's.
My bad. I'm lagging a little bit right here. But my best available here, we've got, I broke them down into tiers. So I sent out a tweet earlier on. And my tier 1 is the top 3, which is probably unrealistic, but I would absolutely lose my mind for Tari Eason, for Malachi Branham, or for Agbaji. I love all 3 of those guys. All 3 probably should go in the 10 to 18 range. I know Malachi Branham's over-under is around 14.5. I think Agbaji was around 14.5, and Tari Eason was around 17.5. So they are all supposed to go above us, but Tyrese Maxey, I believe his was around 14.5, and he fell to 21. So you never know what's going to happen in the NBA draft. I mean, Jaden Ivey was like minus 2,000 to go number 4 overall. So Vegas does not know what they're talking about sometimes with these draft things, and that's referenced by me cashing that Dyson Daniels prop. But then going on to tier 2, I labeled this like I'd be extremely content. Content's probably not fair. Like if they get some of these guys, I'll probably be pretty pumped up. But Kendall Brown, a lot of potential there to be excited about with Kendall Brown. I think like you squint and you see Kawhi Leonard. The problem is you can squint and see Zaire Smith too. If you squint, it depends which way you squint. There's a lot to be positive about, a lot to be negative about, but with his athleticism, with his size, with his length, and it's not. A lot of people have called his season a failure. I mean, he shot 58% from the field, 34% from 3. Like I think the jumper looks clean enough. And you know, I think that there's a lot to be excited about with Kendall Brown. Ty Washington, there's definitely a lot to be excited about with Ty. Really good dribbler, really good passer, definitely a good point guard. Would be a great, 6-man bench guard to bring off the bench behind Maxey and Harden. I think he could play with both Maxey and Harden. So I think that'd be. He's also 19, so there's a ton of untapped potential. Not like I guess you could throw him in the same boat as Malachi Branham, where these guys are still not finished products and might have way higher potentials than we're even assigning them right now. So I think both of them have really high potentials. And then 6 and 7, I kind of lump these guys together because I kind of look at them kind of similarly. Jalen Williams and Wendell Moore are kind of like 3 and D, but they both can create a little bit, right? Like they can both create for others. They can both dribble for themselves, create a play for themselves. Like they're not your prototypical 3 and D guy that just sit there and spot up. Like they can dribble, they can put it on the floor, they can create. So I think that there's a lot to be excited about with Williams and Moore. They can both do a little bit of everything. Dyson Daniels is going number 8.
Oh, there he is.
To New Orleans. So I hate that pick. But whatever. I have Dyson Daniels ranked 20th. I'm not huge on Dyson Daniels. He's definitely a good passer. He's definitely an athlete. We'll see. I always kind of gravitate away from those types of guys, but I don't know what he is yet in terms of offensively or defensively. So we'll definitely have to see what happens with Dyson Daniels. But number 8, Jaden Hardy. He's a guy. And this is my next tier 3, which is kind of my shrug tier. Like this is my whatever. I'm sorry. I botched that. Jaden Hardy goes in that last tier. He'd go in the content tier 2. Tier 3, the shrug tier. Kennedy Chandler. Definitely not like a great fit. Like not necessarily a great fit, but it's kind of similar to Jaden Springer, where I think like he might just be too good of a prospect to pass up defensively. And in terms of being a point guard, like I think he is a really good prospect. Maybe not for the Sixers, but for someone else. So I had to include him on here. Walker Kessler. That's just if they go back up big. And I think Walker Kessler, his shot blocking ability and his athleticism, I think is going to. It gives him a floor of being a competent NBA backup center. And if you're a competent NBA backup center, I think you're probably a first round pick. That's how important finding backup centers are, because there really does seem to be a dearth of them. EJ Liddell, a guy I'm kind of lower on than a lot of people. He went back to college. He made himself better at perimeter defense, made himself better at jump shooting. This is a guy who's like a back to the basket, 6'6" center in college, though. Like he just seems to me to be very much like the prototypical guy who's way better in college than he is in the pros. And I just don't think EJ Liddell is going to translate. I know a lot of people are pointing at him and going Grant Williams. And for that reason, I think Grant Williams is a bit of an anomaly, but I can understand the comparison. And I could say, that's why he's on my list. Honestly, a couple weeks ago, I don't think I had EJ Liddell as first round pick. I now have him 23rd overall. But he comes in late here on my big board. Dalen Terry, number 12. That's your guy from Arizona. I'm definitely starting to come around on Dalen Terry. By the end of this draft, he might be way higher. I think I like him more than EJ Liddell already. So, that's an outdated list for my brain, I guess. But and then you have the two Christians, Christian Koloko and Christian Brown. Koloko, like a primary backup center, kind of very similar to Walker Kessler, and then Christian Brown, Alex Caruso. Not to be racist, I guess, but Alex Caruso for the cross-white comparison. But Christian Brown's got Brown. I always struggle with his name because of the stupid way he spells it, but he has so much Alex Caruso in him. I think he's absolutely going to be a good bench guard in the league. Jake LaRavia, he's got a lot of stuff to be excited about in terms of the jumper, in terms of the passing. I just don't think he's any semblance of an NBA athlete. So that's definitely my concern with him defensively and offensively, I guess.
All right, so these are our best availables for the Sixers. None have been taken yet. We will be monitoring this throughout the night, assuming they keep the pick. We have Phil in the house going, "What's up? Thanks for joining." Robert says, "To the guy in black, take a break."
That's funny. I'm in blue, but yeah, that's hilarious.
Rufus says, "What's good, guys? I just got home from the hospital. Did I miss anything?" Yes. Paulo went number 1 here, which was a little bit surprising considering it was basically a race between Chet and Jabari, but Paulo is number 1 in the 2022 NBA draft. And then the other surprise was Keegan Murray going to the Sacramento Kings over Jaden Ivey. And Jaden Ivey went to the Detroit Pistons, which is a great fit alongside Cade Cunningham. So that's pretty much the big thing so far. Dyson Daniels now to the New Orleans Pelicans. So what don't you like about Dyson Daniels? All right, Dyson Daniels. He's a really good perimeter defender. He's got really good length. He plays with a high motor, lots and lots of energy. He's an off-ball scorer. But yeah, he's a slasher. I'm kind of curious what Mark thinks about Dyson Daniels because he's got nice size, 6'8", 6'11" wingspan. He's a really good on-ball defender. So Dyson Daniels is not one of Mark's guys. He compares a little bit to Tyrese Halliburton, and Dyson Daniels is off the board.
So my thing is I just don't think he's a shooter at all. I think he's a really bad shooter, and he shot 53% from free throw, which is always something that really concerns me with guards when you can't shoot free throws, and then that gives me no hope in terms of his ability to be a 3-point shooter. But that's really what it is. He's kind of slow-footed too. I don't know if he's necessarily an NBA athlete, but he's an NBA length. There's definitely NBA length. I don't know if he's an NBA athlete. So it's the athleticism and it's the 3-point shot. I know that there's a lot to be excited about defensively, and there's a lot to be excited about in terms of his passing ability and his floor vision. But I whiffed on Josh Giddey last year too. So maybe he'll be awesome. I always just struggle with these types of guys, the unathletic non-shooters. Those are just such important traits to me. But I understand why he's definitely tantalizing. I don't hate him as much as I've hated people I hate in the past in terms of draft prospects.
All right, we've got Rob in the house. What's going on, Rob?
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to learn from the true masters of the draft, as I like to call you guys. All right, you guys, I just listen to you and say, all right, what's this pick look like? What I'm here for is to see what the Sixers actually do.
Yeah.
I'm on record of saying that I think even if they were to choose someone tonight, that it's not somebody that's going to be here. It's somebody that's going to be the deal.
100%.
There's just, I know that there's a lot of rumors to go around, but there's just too much surrounding them tonight. I mean, if they come out of this and there's like no like move or anything whatsoever, people are going to like seriously riot because when yeah,
I mean, like you said, like even if they make that selection, you have to have it in the back of your head, like not to overreact and not to get attached because there's high chance this pick is on the move in the near future. So we have Ryan saying finally real analysis in the house to Rob.
I'm the people's champ. I just speak like every other idiot fan out there. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All I'm going to say is I am at the point where my biggest fear in the world of Philadelphia sports is the Sixers do not do enough to actually make themselves a true title contender. And next year you're hearing about Joel Embiid asking out. That's 100%. My biggest fear. So all 100%. I care about is the right now. And I know that's not necessarily the best mindset to have, but I care about this season and putting a team on the floor that gets out of the second round, but is also a true title contender. And I don't know how that has to happen, but they've got to make, like, Daryl Morey, it's put up or shut up, because I truly believe Joel Embiid will start to kind of say, look, man, it ain't happening here. And that would be our generation's Reggie White, when Reggie White decided to leave the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, that's how I would probably compare it. So I don't want to see that.
Rob, did you see Hustle?
I did. All
right. Ryan asked, did you turn it off when the owner wanted to trade Joel Embiid and a Kings pick for first overall?
I believe that was the first moment in the movie where I said, and there's Hollywood. Like, it was so outlandish. And first of all, that kid who was the actor who took over for Robert Duvall, he's like a major character actor. That kid, he's been in so many films dating back to when he was like truly like a little kid. I forget what one of those sitcoms back in the 90s. He had a small role on it. Very similar to like a Leo DiCaprio on Growing Pains back in the day. But yeah, that was great movie. That was the dumbest scene. When I heard him saying that, I was like, and then I sat there and I thought, what day do our owners and GMs get to that point? And I want to kill them. All
right, real quick. Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted Baylor Jeremy. Is it Sochan or is it Sochan?
Sochan. I'm not a huge fan of this guy.
No, you're not a big he kind of compares to OG Anunoby. Great defensive player, but he's kind of that switchable wing on the perimeter that can really impact the game, cutting to the basket, doesn't need the ball in his hands. I liked him for the Sixers a little bit, but he goes to the Spurs here. So go ahead, Mark.
It's just the Spurs adding another dude who has no potential at being like a franchise guy. Like, they just love adding like average players. Like, the way I look at Jeremy Sochan is like he's Ben Simmons without any of the creation. Like, he's gonna be a really good defender. Like, he's gonna be an awesome defender. He'll be a pretty good rebounder. He's not gonna be a good scorer. He's not gonna be a good passer. Like, I don't know. I don't see it with Jeremy Sochan. He seems like a homeless man's Scotty Barnes or like a homeless man's Ben Simmons. Like, I just, I don't get it.
All right. Actually, I think, that's my first one. Let's do this. My first highlight reel we've seen so far. Whoa, hold on.
No, it's fake.
That's just Justin being Justin.
Come on, Justin. Justin's
I haven't talked to you in 6 months. I haven't talked to you in like 6 months, and now I might have to mute you for another 6 months.
Justin's making up lies here. Anybody want to check Twitter real quick? Because that just gave me like a heart attack.
Yeah, I checked.
Well, I tell you what, the greatest insider in the game, Vin Frosh, is up and rolling right now.
Of course he is.
58 seconds ago, he said Kyrie Irving 99% likely to be moved to the Los Angeles Lakers. So there's that.
I actually think that's probably true.
I was going to say, if he moves, I think that's where he goes.
I think it'll be LA, one of them.
Which is so hysterical because when he wanted out because he wanted to be the big guy, I can remember doing the Madness back in the day with Jess when that happened. And I can remember going on air and saying, all I'll say is this, Kyrie, be careful what you wish for. And what's he about to do? Roll right back into the Robin role with an aging LeBron James, because it ain't that easy out there when you don't have greatness like LeBron. So that'll be interesting.
All right, so we're watching highlights of Jeremy Sochan, who is now a San Antonio Spur. As you can see, definitely has a really good body, can move really well on the perimeter. So we are rolling here. Because Woj just tweeted out the Wizards are focused on Johnny Davis from Wisconsin. Johnny Davis is like a Josh Hart type of dude. Mark, any thoughts on Johnny Davis?
We got a theme here because I hate every pick, I guess. But but this one, I obviously I had my bet AJ Griffin to go over Johnny Davis. Doesn't look like that's going to cash. Now I need AJ Griffin to be the 11th pick for that bet, or else I'm going to start 1 and 2 here on my picks. But Johnny Davis, I had him ranked 16th. He actually fell for. I'm sorry. I had him ranked 18th. I had him ranked above Jalen Williams and Wendell Moore initially. I actually moved them above him because I think that they have a bit more creation ability than Johnny Davis had. And Johnny Davis, also, it's not like he's a freshman and a young guy. He's a sophomore, so a bit more of a finished product than some of these other guys. And it's not like he's got tremendous length or size or anything like that at 6'5". So I don't love Johnny Davis, really.
All right, let's do some real quick trivia questions.
I'm gonna hop out real quick. I'll be back on. I gotta eat real quick. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Rob, you are on the clock. Ready?
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Name this is. I've got like a ton of Sixers draft questions. So this is Rob versus the crowd. If you're watching us live, try and answer this question before Rob, and you get the point.
They will.
All right, name that Sixer from the combine. Ready? 5'10" without shoes, a 6-foot wingspan. He was the 20th overall pick. He went to Hofstra.
Oh.
Who am I?
Oh, that wasn't 5'10" without shoes. Hofstra, 6-foot wingspan. I don't even get a year.
No, not for these.
Not for these. No year for these. Hofstra. It's not like there's been too many guys out of Hofstra. Like, I feel like I can.
5'10" without shoes, 6-foot wingspan, 20th overall selection. This was a Sixers draft pick.
That was a Sixers draft.
Who am I?
So my initial jump through, I know it's not, and that it's not 10. Oh my God, I'm thinking like back in the 90s here. Say, nah, it's not Speedy. Speedy's too small. That was one of the guys I thought of, but Speedy was smaller than that, I feel like.
I'm giving it to Quentin. He said Speedy.
He's right.
It is Speedy Claxton, yes.
I felt like Speedy was like 5'5". Like, I thought he was this little-ass dude.
It was 5'10".
Because I was back and forth because the two names in my head were Larry Hughes and Speedy Claxton. But I knew Larry Hughes was St. Louis, and I knew he was earlier because he went before Paul Pierce, which I don't think I'll ever forgive Larry Brown for. But, wow, I would not have had Speedy Claxton at that size.
All right. We have Washington still on the clock, even though we know it's Johnny Davis. So we're going to keep rolling with these questions.
All right.
Name that local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. This does not have to be a Sixers player, okay? 6'11", Simon Gratz High School, 4th overall pick, 1995 draft.
Oof. See, initially I was thinking Malik Rose, but I don't know if he went that high.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he went that high. You said 5th overall?
I believe it was 4th.
4th
overall in the 1995 draft. He was 6'11",
Oh, you son of a bitch, Q Sims.
Ah, he got it, Rasheed.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Well done.
Son of a bitch. That's
Well
what.
done, Q.
Damn it! I need to be better than that. As a North Carolina fan, that is inexcusable for me not to get that right.
I love it. Love it.
I actually just ordered a rug today. So it's a big circle rug that you could custom make with the emblem of up to 5 teams. So
That's cool.
I did all 4 Philadelphia teams, and then I got Carolina. And I was like, all right, I don't know how big it's going to be, but it sounded cool, so I did it. It was a quick impulse buy.
Love it, man. All right, let's keep it rolling. Name the top 3 active Sixers draft picks with the most career blocks. One of these is completely like I never would have guessed it ever. Who are the Sixers? Oh wait, this is a Sixers. Hold on, I screwed that up. We're gonna move on.
Okay.
Because he was not a draft pick. All right, let's go to name that Sixer from the combine. Okay. 6'10", 7'1" wingspan. He was the 16th overall pick, and he played for Florida.
So it's just a guy that was on the Sixers. They didn't have to get drafted by the Sixers.
He was drafted by the Sixers.
He was drafted by the Sixers. 6'10", played at Florida. What did we win for beating Rob? Nothing. I suck at this game, Quentin. You win the fact that you can hold this shit over me forever, that I have been pathetic so far. Florida, 6'10". Oh, my God.
6'10".
16th overall pick.
7'1" wingspan, 16th overall selection, and he played for Florida. Matt McGinney gets it right. It is Mo Spades.
It's so freaking random, damn it. I'm like, and as soon as somebody says it, I'm like, shit, that's one. I know the guy. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh, I would never have got that. Like, I should know Mo Spades. Good for you, McGinty, making me look stupid. Thank you to the first all of you making me look like a jackass. That's why I said I'm just here to be here.
Love it. All right. Should we keep it going?
Yeah. Actually, before we do, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
With the, we've talked about trading the 23rd and Matisse and having it to be for somebody. What are your, and Twitter is totally against it. Curious what your thoughts are on the Eric Gordon rumor. Is that a guy that interests you
Absolutely.
at all?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. I understand people. Once again, like everyone that is voicing their concerns about Eric Gordon or PJ Tucker, I get what your concerns are, but you got to remember what this team is looking for, and that's guys to contribute. They're not looking for Eric Gordon to be a starter playing 38 minutes like he was years ago. You know what I mean? Like we need guys that when our starters go to the bench, we have some guys that could come in the friggin' game and keep things.
I think he can start. I think he can even start a little bit.
But you don't need him for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? He can start, but he's not a guy that you're going to look to control the entire game. You're going to be able to get him spells here or there. So like I said, to me, that I would trade, and someone told me they thought it was too much. I'd go 23rd Tease and the expiring Green contract to get Eric Gordon here. Yeah. I think that would be a good use of those commodities and those assets to get a guy like Eric Gordon. I think it's a perfect. I know what everyone's saying. It looks like Morey's trying to create the Rockets East. I mean, if his only 2 moves are Tucker and Gordon, and we go Tucker, Gordon, and Harden next year,
that'd be hilarious.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah, but I'm in. All right. I'm definitely in. I think that would be a solid move. I put the stats up on my Twitter. They're all there. 42.8% from 3 in the catch and shoot last year. Good volume, great in spot up opportunities, great cutting to the basket, shoots well from the corners. But we've now got the legend in the house. He is Tiago.
I'm here for one guy and one guy only tonight, and it's because I wanted to talk to Tiago during his draft.
Hey,
wow, that hurts.
I'm just happy they haven't traded the pick yet because I would have been sleeping by now.
Nah, they're going to keep you up all night before they move the pick. You know that.
Yeah.
Quinn says, how much for PJ, though? The 10 million per year. 3 years is what we're hearing. Who knows if that's true or not? We don't know.
And even if that's true, you never know how the contract's going to read. Is that third year, is there an out? Is there a clause to get out before that third year? Like, you got to understand, you sometimes in the NBA especially, you have to overpay for guys. Like, it's just the way that the league has been built. But remember what the goal is. The goal is not for 3 years from now. The goal is for right now. So can PJ Tucker help the 76ers next year? I believe the answer to that is yes, he can. It's that simple.
Can I make a point of PJ Tucker? Because I don't want to be the guy to rain everybody's parade, because nobody has a very hot name around Sixers circle. And he had a very good year last year. There's no denying that. You watched PJ Tucker last year, was very good, both in the regular season and the playoffs. He's 37, 22,000 plus minutes, career minutes. And he's coming off 4 straight seasons where it was a below average 3-point shooter, right? So before last year. So there are signs that last year was more of an outlier than actually like a future PJ Tucker projection. And if that's the case, like, what are the Sixers paying for, right? Because you're paying out for a 37-year-old guy with substantial mileage that is an average to below average shooter. And to go through all that song and dance and roster maneuvering for a guy like that would be another very, very disappointing move by Daryl Morey. So I'm not saying that's where it's going to go with PJ, but I'm just trying to point out, like, it's not particularly.
See, I look at PJ as a guy that, whether it's, last year was an aberration or not, he can knock down an open three. It's not maybe at the clip you want it to be, but he's also a guy that brings a toughness that this team has lacked for years and years and years. And even if he's getting slower and getting older, he could get in the head of the opposing team's best player. I mean, that's kind of what he's made a career off of. That's why I would love to see it. Like, I'm not saying you need to, bend over backwards for the guy, right? But I'm just saying this team, if anything, lacks so much toughness that I'm all about trying to get a little bit of toughness in the arena and in that locker room. Yeah. And Joel single-handedly said his name. And I think if the Sixers are going to do anything right now, they need to start listening to their superstar. And I'm sorry, like, they have to do it. Like,
all right, we got to interrupt you, Rob. We got to interrupt you. So we do have some noise going down here. Amadeo is saying Knicks are trading the pick to OKC. So the Knicks selected Ousmane Dieng, I think that's how it goes, to OKC. Woj is saying that OKC is sending multiple first-round picks to the Knicks. So, or was that Shams? They're both tweeting at the same time.
Shams is like 5 picks ahead of everybody, so that's another thing. Picking number 20, just go on Twitter, say Shams' Twitter account.
All right, wait, was it deleted? I just saw something that said the Thunder will send multiple first-round picks to the Knicks. All right.
I think the Knicks were heavy on Jaden Ivey. They really wanted him, and I don't think they're able to swing a deal for him, so they're kind of like stockpiling picks off that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so super raw prospect. Ousmane Dieng is a super raw dude. Shows true flashes. He's got great size, 6'9". He has potential to be a creative scorer on the perimeter. He's got some ball handling skills for sure. He comes to a Brandon Ingram here. So interesting, the Oklahoma City Thunder are getting a lot of length for sure in Chet Holmgren and now Ousmane Dieng. So pretty awesome.
They've been drafting a lot of international guys. So Josh Giddey, right? Theo Madelon, Pokuševski. I don't know if that's something that's in their program or not, but they draft a ton of international guys. That's obviously another one.
Yep, OKC is trying to swing for the fences here. They're rolling the dice on upside. So there's a guy who can use his athleticism, blow past smaller defenders, less athletic defenders. And he's got some potential on defense, and he's only 19 years old. And you look at Chet Holmgren, so OKC is definitely loading up on young guys with upside. That's pretty much it. So, Tiago, any thoughts on Jaden Ivey going to Detroit? Because I think that was like kind of the big story so far.
Yeah, I love it. I think what Detroit has done over the last week or so, it's been awesome. Getting rid of Jeremy Grant's contract, open up space. They could potentially get a guy like DeAndre Ayton in their program. You got Cade Cunningham. I thought that I loved watching Jaden Ivey at Purdue. So I think they absolutely nailed that pick. You got a wing, you got a ball handler in Cade Creator. Now you find yourself a big. You're off and running, man. That team went from unwatchable to an NBA ticket, in my opinion. I would definitely be watching them this year.
Yeah, that's exactly what Mark said. Mark said that's the Detroit Pistons are his new second favorite team.
I don't understand what the Kings are doing.
Must-watch team, aren't they, man? They got some young talent. They're gonna be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, totally.
On the flip side, I have no idea what the Kings are doing. So if you guys, I haven't figured that out in 20 years. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Wait. So the OKC Thunder had the 12th pick?
What number? Yeah, so that was the Knicks pick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, so they had the 12th pick as well.
The Knicks picked the guy for OKC. Yeah. My guess is this OKC pick is who the Knicks are going to get as part of the deal.
I don't know. We don't know the deal yet. We're still waiting.
Well, the OKC has like 100 first-round picks, so I'm not surprised if they –
The Thunder still have the 12th pick. It isn't part of the Knicks trade per source, per Woj. That's nuts. Wow, that's nuts. Okay, OKC's making moves in this draft, man. They're adding length and upside. We got AJ in the house. What's up, AJ?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's going on?
We're good, man. Just watching OKC wheel and deal right now.
It's got AJ Griffin here, man. I'm telling you, I love AJ Griffin. I'm surprised he's still on the board, to be honest.
Would be a perfect fit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
All right, so pick is in. Have they announced it? Has Woj announced it yet? I have not seen.
I have Woj, all his notifications off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my phone was blowing up, man. I had to turn them off. It was insane.
Seriously. I knew about Paolo's first selection like 25 minutes before the draft.
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't even know that. That's cool.
You know, someone brought it up. Why is ESPN allowing Woj to spoil the pick before it's announced by Adam Silver? Like on TV, not just on
TV. Yeah, it was on TV.
They're literally going to him 3 to 5 minutes before Silver gets up there to announce him. It's like, aren't you defeating the whole purpose of this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we have Amadeo saying he's hearing Jalen Williams, which I would not like. I would not be a big fan.
Oh, that's early. Holy crap. That's
definitely a bit of a reach.
Over AJ.
Definitely a guy I like on the Sixers a lot.
AJ Griffin's a better player, man. Come on. What are we doing here, dude?
It is.
All right, so
it is a Jalen Williams.
AJ Griffin falls to 15, 16. You making the jump? If they're keeping the pick?
With AJ?
Yeah.
I don't think Daryl will ever trade up an NBA draft, to be honest with you. Ever. It could be like Michael Jordan 2.0. He's still not going to value enough to make the trade. But I would definitely, because I think AJ is a star potential player, no question.
All right, here's a little bit on Jalen Williams. It's definitely lagging on my end. All right. But anyway, Jalen Williams here going to OKC. Interesting potential playmaker. One of the biggest risers in the draft. He can do a lot. You know, he's got a really good wingspan. He can defend a little. He can create a little. He can play off ball a little. He can thrive in the pick and roll in the transition game. Tiago, do you like Jalen Williams?
I love Jalen Williams. I'm not so sure about the fit in OKC because part of his appeal is the ball handling, and they already have SGA and Josh Giddey.
Really is Jalen Williams. That's so early for me.
Yeah, that's early. Are they going to use him strictly off the ball? Then is it really worth picking him that high? He's obviously got tremendous off the catch potential, but I just felt there was more there to pursue at that spot. We'll
Was there a trade that I missed?
Yeah, the Knicks traded up.
Okay.
Traded out, with OKC. So if we see the French guy,
Oh, okay.
And then they kept the pick and drafted Jalen. But I like Jalen a lot, man. He was one of the first guys we watched. We thought he may be going to the Sixers, and he was one of the most fun watches we had.
Oh, I like his aggressiveness too, but I mean, I think 12's a little early.
Yeah.
All right. So he is the first off the board on my Sixers big board. I'm going to bring that up here. We're going to mark it down. He gets knocked down. I had Jalen Williams number 5 on mine.
Oh man, you should move Laravia up, Chris. I'm telling you.
I have him number 3. That's enough.
Should be number 1 on your board.
Well, that's number 1 on your board.
Pop's gonna make him an all-star.
Yeah, I love Laravia. He's my guy.
Mark had Jalen Williams number 6 and Thiago number 3. Jalen Williams is officially off. That sucks. All right. Let's do some more trivia while we wait for the Charlotte Hornets pick. Rob is getting absolutely demolished in these.
I quit.
All right, here we go. Name the local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 6'9", 7'1" wingspan.
I know.
You can guess, yeah.
Jalen Durant.
Nope.
No.
Wait, is it a Sixers pick? A local Sixers pick?
These it can or it doesn't have to be. It can be either. All right. 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, 50th overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft.
Jesus God.
He went to. What'd you say?
Boy Allen.
Lavoy Allen is correct. Attaboy, AJ.
Simple product, yo.
Love it. All done. You got more than Rob already.
Hey. The only one I was
I
really
didn't know we were just doing this draft or just completely. That's why I kind of jumped the gun.
The only reason I was the only one I'm truly disappointed in was I didn't hop all over Rasheed Wallace. That one upsets me.
Yeah.
I need to be better than that.
All right, one more before we go. Name the top 3 active Sixers draft picks with the most career rebounds.
Dario Saric? No.
Nope.
The 3 76ers draft picks, most career rebounds.
Active right now.
So Joel Embiid.
Joel's not it.
Wow.
He's not one of the top 3.
Nerlens Noel?
Nerlens.
Nerlens Noel is not one.
Thad Young.
Oh, Vucevic.
Young is one.
Thad Young.
Vucevic is 2. Yeah.
Vooch is one.
You always forget Vucevic.
Yeah.
One more.
Vucevic.
Yep. Thad Young.
Vucevic.
There's one more.
There's got to be an older player at this. For Joel not to be on the list, it's got to be a guy who's had longevity.
Got this.
Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala is correct.
Of course. That made sense. Andre Iguodala, the rebounder. I always thought him as such.
Yeah.
I
Totally.
thought of Andre Iguodala as a lot throughout his career, and I'll be honest, a lot of it was negative for me.
Yeah, so do you guys think he'll be a Hall of Famer? I think he will be.
He probably will. At this point, you figure, what was it? What this end up to be? His 4th title, 3rd title?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't necessarily participate in that, but yeah, it goes down as a title.
It goes down as a title. But I don't know. I was never, and I honestly think it was just, he was a victim for me of being like one of the top players on a bad team.
Yeah.
And I just thought people just acted like this guy was God's gift to basketball, especially on the defensive end. And a lot of that was because if you remember, that was Doug Collins, and he loved tips. Doug loved his tips. And there was not a better tipper than Andre Iguodala. But there was so much of his game that I thought was lacking, specifically when he was here. And a lot of that was because he wasn't ever made to be the best guy on a team. He had to be a role player. And there was too much of him trying to be the best guy here. Yeah. And I could never get myself to truly be in love with Andre Iguodala. And he has the worst Finals MVP in the history of Finals MVPs. Worst one ever. He won for allowing a triple-double. That's what he won MVP for. So I always say it.
Yeah, he got elevated after AI. People thought he was the guy, and he was never gonna be the guy, man.
No,
ever. He had some horrendous playoff series against the Pistons.
Oh my god,
man, they were terrible. He couldn't hit his shot. It was terrible.
Yeah, offensively, the two biggest shots he ever hit was against Chicago in that first round series when he got to the. I was actually at the game, and he hit 2 free throws, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I didn't know he hit 2 free throws. It was crazy.
Yeah, hit that buzzer beater against Orlando in that versus one matchup at the end.
Ooh, Jalen Duren going to Charlotte here per Amadeo.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't Williams.
Yeah, but I like they're going after a big, which is what they clearly need.
I think it makes sense with LaMelo having a Bam type of center.
Yep, Jalen Williams. No. Who just got picked?
Jaden Duren.
Griffin's still on the board, man. Oh my god. Kidding right now?
Jalen Duren, man. He's a fun player. I remember watching him for Memphis. He plays big. He's got a nice body. So he's going to Charlotte here. It's kind of like a Dwight Howard type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Duren, Philly kid. Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Went to Roman, I think. And then he moved out.
All right, let's throw another one of those out. Name that local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 7'1", Overbrook High School in Philadelphia. First overall selection. 1959 draft.
Will.
Hey, Rob got one.
Go. I knew he was Overbrook. That was my first sign. And the fact that he was 7'1".
I don't go that far back, man. Sorry.
All I know, the only thing growing up here, just knowing Wilt is Overbrook. So as soon as you said Overbrook at 7'1", I was just hoping for really long ago.
Right.
How many times have the Sixers made the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft?
Too many. Is that an answer, Chris?
No.
They've made it too many times in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
8 times.
And they don't have either of them.
Yeah.
It
is. It's not even below the first round pick.
One's rehabbing his terrible back by big game fishing out there, because that's how you're supposed to rehab the back after you can't play a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how amazing is it going to be when Kyrie and Durant both leave the
It's amazing.
All by himself.
I love it so much.
It's such poetic justice.
Ben's going to be there by himself.
Whoa. Charlotte trading Jalen Duren to the Pistons. Pistons making moves.
Wow. Interesting. I wonder what they're getting in return. I really do. Because I think that's a pretty good pick for Charlotte.
Whoa. All right, Jalen Duren's going to the Knicks.
Going to the Knicks?
Yeah, Sham says going to the Knicks. Jalen Duren to the Knicks.
And Woj says the Pistons are a
3-team deal.
It's a what?
It's a 3-team deal.
Okay.
All right.
Hornets Twitter is just heartbroken right now. Because I got a couple of guys from Hornets Twitter that follow me. And I follow them, and it's just they're losing their shit. They're like, why are we trading Jalen Duren?
Amadeo just said, Austin Krell said, no one move a muscle. Oh, boy. What?
Boy.
Oh, my God.
If Austin's going big time on us and he's going to pull this national BS that's no different than just putting the eyes out there in a tweet and making all of us freak out for the next hour.
He just said it's in reference of the Durant trade.
You know what, Trell? You know what, Krell? You know what, Krell? I can't believe you're big timing people now, dude. That's unbelievable. That's depressing.
All right, it looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers, the pick is in, and they are locked in on Ochai Agbaji.
Yeah,
remember covering this guy, Thiago, from last year?
We thought it was going to be a second round pick last year, and
Kemba's going to Detroit in that trade.
Kemba.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
I just had something pop up on my timeline. A 3-team trade is now being discussed with the Sixers and Hawks, and then I saw it was Vin posting it. And I was like, I'm about to mute him for just tonight because I don't have time for this tonight.
Vin, you're beautiful, Vin.
Here's some interesting Jalen Duren stats. So he's the youngest freshman in the country, right? Young player. Finished second in college basketball in dunks. Shot 71% at the rim, 69% on cuts, 63% on putbacks. He's going to be a guy who is going to score a lot of baskets around the rim, man.
So Shams put it out there now. So, and you might have said this. Knicks acquired Jalen Duren and then moved him with Kemba Walker to the Pistons.
So he ended up in Detroit eventually.
So it looks like he ended up in Detroit.
I love that.
As well, I guess, it was time that Kemba's there now too.
Yeah. I like that for Detroit, man. Detroit's crushing this, man.
So Kemba, Jaden Ivey, and Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
And
I like that.
And what's his name still there? Isn't Bay still there?
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Bay still there, yeah.
Detroit's going to be fun if nothing else. They're going to be fun, man.
They're going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Killian Hayes too. No, I'm just joking. Not looking good for Killian.
All this confusion is because these guys want to get it out first without all the information.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons are sending the Hornets a 2025 first-round pick via Milwaukee in the Jalen Duren trade.
It's the one they got yesterday.
All right. So far, Detroit's winning the draft. That's pretty much.
Nobody
The
knows.
Knicks they're looking to shift their focus to Jalen Brunson.
Who Detroit is?
No, the Knicks.
The Knicks,
Yeah,
of course.
I can't believe Krell goes, no one move a muscle when it's about a Jalen Duren trade.
I've lost a lot of respect.
That's great. Oh, sorry, Mark. Sorry, Mark.
Mark's not allowed in because we're mad at Krell still.
I was backstage waiting. Yeah, Krell can't be telling us not move a muscle about Jalen Duren.
He's Mr. Big Time now over there. Mr. Big Time.
Oh, man. Agbaji's a good pick there to Cleveland, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about that.
Can somebody know what's going on with AJ Griffin? Because he's still dropping, and I don't understand.
I know. I had a draft bet that he was going to go before Johnny Davis and under 11.5. Both missed.
Wow.
Yeah, not good. I have Mark Williams under 14.5 too, so I guess that just missed too. I like the Jalen Duren move for Detroit. I think Detroit's crushing this draft, but I would have liked Mark Williams a little bit more than Jalen Duren if I was going with a big man. I love Mark Williams. I think he's going to be a steal for whoever gets him. That could be Charlotte here at 15.
Charlotte, yeah.
Oh, they did it. Yeah, that's funny. Charlotte will pick Mark Williams at number 15 from Shams. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did the right thing then. They got some assets and they still got their guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great move for Charlotte for sure. By the way, smart move by Shams to include his stream in his in all of his draft tweets that he's doing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good marketing by Shams. Props to him. I'm a Woj guy generally, but props to Shams.
Yeah, I would just say over the last year and a half, I have begun to hate Shams.
Because the
face.
clutch thing. The
I
clutch
think
thing.
the clutch thing is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's another mouthpiece now. Like, instead of being the guy that, granted, he breaks stories, but he's also a clutch mouthpiece. And I can't get behind that anymore. Like, that shit just is annoying.
During the bench stuff was a little too much. Like, it was all the time. You're like, all right, man, we know you're in bench at the same.
Yeah, like it's bad enough when Windy is the LeBron mouthpiece, and you got to listen to his nonsense get put out there.
The funny thing.
Clutch,
my
it was
bad.
like,
The funny thing about Windy now is like LeBron hasn't talked to that dude in like 5 years. Like LeBron got Windy his start and everything with the Cleveland Plain Dealer and everything like that. But LeBron ain't returning Windy's calls anymore. Like Windy doesn't have anything from LeBron these days. I don't think.
All right, real quick look at our big boards here for the Sixers. I've only got one off the board. That is Jalen Williams. I think he went to the Spurs. I could be wrong.
I thought it was OKC.
OKC, yeah. OKC.
Yeah.
We look at Mark's big board. Mark has 2 down. Agbaji, number 3, and Jalen Williams are off the board. And then for Tiago, Jalen Williams was number 3. So,
my guy's still number 1, and he's going to be there. I know Mark has dead last in his board.
He'll be there.
Did you see his mock draft that he had him Laraver at 23? So
I know. It's definitely possible. This team needs athleticism. And I don't think Jake LaRavia screws athleticism.
No, it doesn't, but
yeah. I know he can do stuff.
I mean, he's not a total flake athletically, but he's not.
I think he's as flaky as it gets athletically in this draft. Is there a player that's less athletic?
He's not like George's Niang. Like Niang is a.
I think he is. I think he's exactly.
I
disagree with that.
A little bit too much.
I think he's exactly like that athletically.
You're getting compared the shit out of me about this guy.
when you're getting compared to Kyle Anderson, and I like Kyle Anderson. I like Kyle Anderson, but that doesn't say a lot about your athletic profile. I don't think he's an NBA athlete personally, but he's a skilled player. I'm not taking it. I wouldn't rank him if I thought he wasn't a skilled player. But he's a really good passer, and he's definitely has a smooth jumper. Can definitely catch and shoot it. There's certain things that are hang-ups with me, and athleticism is always going to be one of them. It's why I was lower on Dyson Daniels than a lot of people are.
All right, should we do a trivia question? We've got some time here. Name that local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 6'6", Lower Marion High School, 13th overall pick,
Easy.
1996 NBA draft.
Somebody's gonna whiff at that because.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's Kobe.
Yeah,
it's Kobe. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
We all knew that. I just didn't.
All right, good. All right, I'm just making sure. All right, name that Sixer from the combine. 6'5" without shoes, a 6'10" wingspan. He was the 20th overall pick, and he played for Miami.
Wait, say that again. I missed it.
Name that Sixer from the combine. 6'5" without shoes, 6'10" wingspan. He was the 20th overall pick. He played for Miami.
So you got he played. Was it Rodney Carney?
No, great guess. That's incorrect.
He played for the University of Miami.
Oh, he played for the University of Miami. Okay, he played for Miami. Oh, University of Miami. Okay.
I also thought he meant the Heat too.
Yeah. Who the hell the Sixers draft from the University of Miami?
But the Sixers didn't necessarily draft him, right? It was just
to
play for the Sixers.
No, they did.
They drafted him. Jesus.
Yeah, the ones where I say local area don't have to be Sixers.
Drafted a kid from Miami?
I know this isn't a fashion podcast, but what's with it seems like the popular bling this year is initials. It seems like everyone's going with the initials on the the necklace. Mark Williams got the MW. I noticed Paolo had the PB earlier on.
Duke thing.
Maybe it's a Duke thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And some of the John Salmons, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, John Salmons.
Excellent. Wow.
I had a signed John Salmons like 8x10.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it, but I saw it when I was moving recently.
That's a great pull by Raymond. That's a great pull.
Oh, done.
That is a really good one.
What pick did the Sixers draft Charles Barkley in 1985?
Was it fourth? It's like early.
Yeah.
It's early top 10.
Isn't it?
I want to say 3.
I'm going to say 4.
It's not 3. And it's not 4.
Oh, man. I think it's going to be 5 or 6 then. I think
5.
Yeah. I knew it was like mid top 10. I didn't know where. That was like probably 12 years before me.
All right, so Atlanta is on the clock here. The pick is in. Do you have any idea who Atlanta is going for here?
AJ Griffin.
AJ Griffin, nice selection.
Yeah, Atlanta's they nail that.
AJ Griffin and DeAndre Hunter's a nice little duo.
AJ Griffin's definitely a great value at this point.
For sure. Tari's still falling, Mark.
Oh, don't get me excited yet, Dibes.
We're on
Too
the
early.
board. I see the
Too
goddamn
early.
on the board, man.
It's too early, man. He's
Too
not-
early.
You got called to the green room, Chris. I don't know, man. I'm going to rain your parade, but
Is Malachi Branham at the draft?
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey, perhaps the most dynamic player in this draft. And
Someone's foot is on.
is a young
Is that my? It's not me.
it was me. The phone just went off about the NBA draft. Trying to track the picks.
All right.
What happened to being like a crazy trade eventful night? It's so quiet.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be a ton of trades tonight.
Yeah, the NBA probably wants to maximize their pull on the sports calendar. So they told everyone, "Hey, chill out with the trades. Do it in a couple weeks when the sports calendar's dead, so we can spread out the attention."
Yeah.
That's the NFL's move about everything. They want to own every month of the calendar.
Who did the Sixers pick 5 slots after Barkley? They had another pick after Barkley?
I don't know. That's per Mark. Anybody know this answer?
No.
I want to guess it's someone who sucked because that's par for the course with the Sixers.
Oh, Tari Eason.
No, don't say that.
17.
Don't say that, Mark.
He's gone. The dream's dead. Houston.
Houston?
Yeah,
Jump
that sucks.
on the Laravia train, Chris. It's like, no. It sucks. He's a good player. He's going to be a good player, man.
That one hurts.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm taking Tari Eason off the boards.
Jabari Smith and Tari Eason, man. Wow.
Yeah,
With Jalen Green, that's a ton of athleticism, man. Holy crap.
it's interesting. I like that a lot.
All right, my number 1 is off the board. Mark's number 1 is off the board. And Tiago's number 2 is off the board for the Sixers here. Leon Wood, who became a ref. That's pretty cool. I don't know that.
I didn't know that either. That was the Michael Jordan draft, right? Yeah.
Name the local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 6'6" without shoes, 7-foot wingspan, 2002 NBA draft, and the 53rd overall pick. He played for LaSalle. He was a big name back then.
So,
Year I graduated high school.
was it Leg? No, the Leg was.
Are you talking about Lionel Simmons? I wasn't paying attention to the question, but I just heard LaSalle. I heard LaSalle, and I was like, "Oh, Lionel Simmons played basketball."
Right.
At LaSalle.
6 with a 7-foot wingspan. Jesus.
Name the local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. 6'6" without shoes, 7-foot wingspan, 53rd overall pick in the 2002 NBA draft, and he played for LaSalle. Who am I?
I have no idea, man.
Nah.
I have no idea.
Anybody remember the name Rasul Butler?
Oh,
Yeah. He went to LaSalle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, he was a monster.
Somebody on my timeline just called Jalen Williams a diet Shake Milton.
Oh my God, get out of here.
How was it going that far?
I mean, isn't Shake Milton a bad Shake Milton?
I'm not a Shake Milton fan per se.
let's be real here.
He's whatever.
I'm curious. I'm going to look up Shake's college stats.
Oh, he was great for SMU, especially shooting.
Yeah, to be fair, they have like pretty identical numbers.
Really?
18, 4.5, and 4, basically. Similar efficiencies. Not exactly.
Do you guys think Shake would still be on the roster today if he didn't go off in front of Doc Rivers like 3 years ago?
No, he's rosterable. He's rosterable.
In that game when they went to LA and they didn't have Embiid, they scored like 30. That is the single reason he's on this.
He just went off that game.
Oh my God.
Doc's like,
don't you remember Doc's introductory press conference? Like he mentioned Joel, he mentioned Ben. I swear to God, he mentioned Shake Milton like 13 times in his introductory press conference. He mentioned him so much. I remember this. He mentioned him so much that I made a preseason bet that Shake Milton would be Sixth Man of the Year because of how much Doc talked about Shake Milton.
He started hot that year. Like he
did, and then he got hurt. He got hurt, and it screwed everything up.
And then he brought in George Hill because it was so fucking terrible.
Oh my God,
George Hill's the worst of all time.
Oh my God.
Every time I see George, there's another guy that just like came here and didn't give a shit. Like screw him.
Yeah. Well, he's stunk. I think he stinks. He stunk this year too. I think.
Yeah.
But Shake Milton was good in 1920. Like that's why he's on the team. Like, it's crazy. He shot like 40. What did he shoot? Like 43% from three. And they're just chasing that dragon. I mean, like he was still pretty good in 2021. Like he wasn't the same level player, but he was rosterable for sure. He was not good last year. He was not good in 21-22. It looked like he was shooting a medicine ball.
Yeah. He changed his mechanics. It looks weird. And I wish that like he would just lean in on being an off the ball player because I don't like him as a point guard.
For sure.
What is it with 76ers and changing their shooting mechanics?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
And it's not, and I don't even blame. They like get these other coaches who totally change their shot.
Well,
there was hard, man.
There was a dirt bike involved in one of the.
Oh God! Come on, Mark. Too soon.
I know. It's always we just have the worst luck in the world at certain areas.
I thought there was zero chance they were selecting tonight, and it's looking more and more likely.
I've always been on the side of thinking that they're going to. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Daryl wants to do a consolidation trade. Like, I don't think Daryl wants to do a 3-for-1 trade unless the gap that he's improving is so great. Like, I think there's smoke behind the Gordon stuff, but the reason that it hasn't happened yet is because I don't think Daryl wants to give up all 3 trade chips of Danny's salary, Matisse as a whatever asset he is right now, and then the 23rd pick. Like, I don't think he wants to give all 3 things up for one because we are kind of asset strapped. Like, everyone loves to say Daryl doesn't like the draft, and everyone loves to say like he just trades his picks. He's made picks since he's been here at least. So I one worked, one didn't. But I think we don't know. I guess we don't know Springer didn't work yet. But I think that Daryl's always looking for kind of cheap guys, and if he thinks that a guy at 23 is a cheap option to improve the team when they're already cap strapped, he might look at that as something that he has to hold on to.
The question is, how much? Go ahead.
How about Malachi Branham still on the board?
Woo-hoo-hoo. I'd be a happy camper with Malachi Branham. That guy's the kind of guy he's like the 50-50 ball of shooting long term for like a home run swing with a freshman, and then also maybe getting a guy who can come in and play bench guard minutes right away if Doc will let him.
Yeah.
I think that he kind of fills both of those roles a little bit.
Oh, how about this? Kemba Walker and the Pistons are expected to discuss a contract buyout that will allow him to become a free agent.
He's washed though, man.
Yeah, I figured that.
I don't want Kemba. I don't know. He's washed, man.
Yep.
Undersized point guard that's washed. That's not what they need right now.
I don't know. I think Mark said Detroit's his second favorite team. I might be Team Houston right now.
I love Jaden Ivey so much. I'm gonna watch them every night. I think
Jabari and Tari.
That's fun. Yeah, it is fun. I'm not a huge Jabari guy, so that's why it's not as huge for me. Tari Eason at 17. What a value though.
So good.
How is that? They're still announcing that pick. I feel like we talked about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They need to catch up with Woj and Shams, man. Oh, nice suit from Tari. Thought he was going to the Celtics apparently with the green and black. Definitely.
Oh no! All right, we are getting into that death row here for the Sixers because I just
Terry just went off the board.
Dalen Terry.
Oh no!
Will be going to the Chicago Bulls.
The hell the Bulls need Terry for?
Because they're trading Kobe White.
Interesting.
Terry's interesting. Terry's definitely interesting. I was low on Terry like a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I've talked myself in a little bit more each day. And now I'm like, I was kind of getting to the point where I was in on him today, but I could see any scenario playing out for his career. He could turn into a star, or he could be out of the league in 3 years.
Yeah, just hope they don't turn him like just a 3-and-D guy that they actually give the ball and let him create. See what he's got. I think it's shaping up to be Jaden Hardy, man. I'm saying that right now. I think if they're gonna make a pick, they're gonna pick Jaden Hardy. I'm gonna say that right now.
All right, here's our big boards. I lost my top two. I lost 3 of my top 5. Honestly, I thought other than Tari Eason, I thought all 5 had a good chance to be there. But here we are. Let's look at Marks. He's lost 3 of his top 6. Malachi Branham is still there. Kendall Brown is still there. Ty Washington's still there. Ty Washington's falling. How about that?
Yeah, I told you we were talking about that earlier today, Dives, where I was like, yeah, I'm hearing that he I think his gambling market's really, really plummeted in the last couple of days into being like a fringe first round pick even. So we'll see if maybe he won't even go in the first round. That'd be insane a couple of weeks ago.
And then there's Tiago's top 10. He's on Jake LaRivia Mountain right now.
That's right, baby.
Right now.
In the end, and he's gonna be there. And I think the Spurs might actually grab him, but if they don't, he will be there.
I'm with you on your next 2, Tiago. I love. I forget it now, but I love your next 2. It's Kendall Brown and I believe.
Yeah. Wendell Moore.
Wendell Moore. Yeah, I like both of those guys a lot. I would really like both of those guys.
I wish they had a pick like at 32, 33, 34, like they do every year, because I think that's where Kendall Brown's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be unbelievable value to get this guy at that range.
I'm surprised Kendall Brown wasn't a guy who rose up the board a little bit more with some of his traits.
Yeah.
All right, so we are just chilling here, waiting for some sort of Sixers trade. Nothing's been announced yet. There was a lot of rumors with the Chicago Bulls pick, but that is not happening. They are taking Dalen Terry. So how about a Sixers draft trivia question here? Name that local draft pick from the Philadelphia area. He was 6'8". He's from Friends Central School. He was the 4th overall selection in the 2019 NBA draft. Who am I? (6'8", Friends Central School, 4th overall selection in the 2019 NBA draft.
I feel like I'm so bad at years. I have to hear who the first pick is in drafts, and then I'm like, oh, that draft. 2019 was 2019. Ja Morant would have been 2.
2019 was the Zion and Ja Morant.
Oh, it's DeAndre Hunter, right?
DeAndre Hunter is correct, Mark.
He's
Good job.
a Philly boy. He's a Philly boy.
Done.
Yeah, I'm so bad with years. Like, you could tell me, like Blake Griffin went number 1 in a year. You could tell me that was like 2006, 2009, or 2013, and I'd be like, "Yup." Like, I'm so bad with years and remembering like when things happen.
Name that Sixer from the combine. 6'3", 6'7" wingspan, the 17th overall pick from UCLA. Yeah, McGinney got it right. It was DeAndre Hunter was the answer. All right, last one.
By the way, just real quick,
Huh?
CBS listing Malachi Branham as a small forward is interesting to me. I think he's like 6'4".
Yeah.
Jonah Bolden. No, Jonah Bolden went. Thinking of Jonah Bolden.
Yeah,
Jonah Bolden was Australia, right? Or no?
Yeah, I don't think he went to college. I don't think he was.
Yeah, he went to UCLA.
Was it
Bolden
UCLA?
went to UCLA? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot that.
Just 1 year, yeah.
I forgot.
Peyton Watson thing, probably.
Is not.
Barely.
It is not Jonah Bolden. 6'3", 6'7" wingspan, 17th overall pick from UCLA. Any other guesses here? Is Drew Holiday is the answer.
That's bad. I should have had that. That's bad.
That's really bad.
My memory's shot.
Was that the big point? Was that the big guard draft?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like the year that they drafted Drew Holiday, correct me if I'm wrong, was the year Steph Curry went. Johnny Flynn, Ty Lawson from Carolina.
Oh, my God.
I even think that might have been
Rubio.
But I remember that because I can remember I was actually on a boat drinking heavily. And I remember keep looking down because I was like, I just watched Steph in the tournament and I was like, oh, man, it'd be great if they drafted Steph. And then I was a big Carolina fan, so I love Ty Lawson. And I can remember they drafted Drew Holiday, and I was like, all right, I'll live with that. But really would have liked Steph. But Steph went like 2 picks before them. That was a 17th pick. Steph was like 15, I think, that year, 14.
Oh, man.
He went right before him.
I mentioned earlier, I was talking about my one buddy who's a Pistons fan. I actually have like another buddy who, not like a Twitter friend, I guess I would say, another Pistons fan. And the Pistons fans have officially lost their minds because he told me that the Pistons now have the cap and room to go get Kevin Durant in a trade. And I was like, just so you know, there's a 0.00% chance that Kevin Durant ever plays basketball in Detroit, Michigan, as with the Pistons on his jersey. So, I love the Pistons what they did tonight. Let's settle down, Detroit.
Pistons fans are getting frisky, man.
Kevin Durant to Detroit.
Oh no! No!
Oh man!
No! What the fuck?
Oh,
what are we doing? 19?
Oh
Get the fuck out of here!
I can't believe that.
That's so funny.
No, I'm tweeting at Woj. No.
That sucks. Literally, as AJ leaves, and he leaves with this comment, gotta go. Let's go, Laravia.
See, man.
Yo, my big board's getting fucked up.
I'm happy. I'm a happy camper right now. That took like one of the only 3 options off the board that I would have been upset with. So now it's just I know I don't like Marjan Beauchamp.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
There's one other guy I didn't like. I can't remember now.
Let's get this up here. Let's see where we're at now.
Remember.
This
put
hurt.
my board up because I have no idea what's left outside of Hardy.
I've only got Jaden Hardy left in my top 5. Let's go.
Real
Mars.
quick though, Where would Malachi Branham rank for you guys?
Oh yeah, he would be right there with Tari. Yeah, I never thought Branham would be even there. Is this another Tyrese Maxey situation?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't even think Branham would be available, so I didn't go as deep as the other guys. But watching Ohio State definitely stood out. I would definitely take him.
Somebody give me a little scouting report. I'm listening to my experts here. You're my 3 experts.
There's a little bit on Malachi Branham, Rob, right there.
All right.
Let's go here. Yeah. Yeah, he's so efficient. He's uber efficient. He was a guy who kind of came into Ohio State not as expected to be a one and done guy. He was supposed to be kind of like a developmental guy who got better along his years at Ohio State, and he was just way better than he had any right being, shooting, like it says right there, 41.6% from 3, 83.3% from the free throw line, both really good indicators of what kind of shooter he's going to be at the next level. And like you saw in that clip right there, he's got a little athleticism to go up there and dunk on your head. I love Malachi Branham. People watched Ohio State last year, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, EJ Liddell. Let's focus on EJ Liddell, and especially Sixers Twitter. Malachi Branham was the guy where I was like, man, imagine if Malachi Branham was in the Shake Milton role that we were talking about earlier on. I think that would be incredible. He's uber efficient. Is what I always come back to.
Why do you think he's dropping?
I
don't know. Maybe it is that lack of a pedigree where he is kind of a surprise how good he was last year.
Yeah, I had him pegged as an absolute lottery pick. I don't know.
I had him ranked 10th overall. So
Did
this
you?
is a guy I love. I love Malachi Branham. Yeah, I had Malachi Branham 10th. I had Kendall Brown 14, Ty 15, Wendell Moore 17.
Could it be the Big Ten basketball bias? Could that factor into a drop? I know Big Ten guys go high in the draft, but I mean, people look at Big Ten basketball a lot and they think, what am I really watching here? And unless it's a team that really goes on a run or they have, one of the bona fide top players in the country, I think there's a little bias there when people talk about Big Ten basketball.
The Sixers need scorers, and Malachi Branham is a pure scorer.
But here's the thing: do you think has the same on-ball shot making profile than Hardy does? Because I think that is what I think Morty would prioritize with a pick. Can you actually score on the ball? I think
that's definitely that skill set goes to Jaden Hardy for sure.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know if anybody cares about John Hollinger, but he just tweeted out a few minutes ago. Heard talk of some outrageous things that might happen in the 20s. Hard to know what to believe, but let's see what happens.
Here we go.
Who tweeted that? It's Vin Fosh?
John, no.
Yeah. I had to mute him because he started getting updates during the time. It's like, oh, look at the trade. I'm like, oh, no.
That guy must be on 10 cups of coffee because I feel like I'm seeing a Vin Frost tweet every 3 minutes right now.
How about Jake LaRavia going 19th?
I told you, man. They should put us on the NBA scouting department.
I mean, we were really high on him for sure, but I don't know. I always thought of him at he was a good 23rd pick. He was a good 23rd pick. Not 19, not top 20. Anyway.
What if the Sixers draft Jovic? What would you guys do?
I'll throw my computer across the room.
I would understand it.
But defensively, how can you be high on Jovic but low on LaRavia? Because defensively, I think Jovic is a train wreck.
Yeah, no, I have him 2 spots above LaRavia. So it's not like I would have I'm gonna be too happy, but I won't be as miserable. I do think that there's a lot to be excited about with Jovic. When you watch him on offense, I do think that there is there's definitely a skill set. Well, I don't love the fit or anything like that. I don't like the guy. I have him ranked 28th, I think. So I'm probably lower than most people you'll find on him. I think the jumper is I like the jumper. I think his jumper is pretty clean. I know he only shot it at 34%. Damn it, the Spurs take Malachi Branham. Damn it. That sucks.
It's going to be Doc's pick, EJ Liddell, I guarantee you. The only guy he may be able to play for a little bit this year.
Yeah, I just.
All right, you ready? Wait, hold on. I gotta break. I gotta share this. So I got tweeted at saying who do I want the most, and I said Tari Eason, Dalen Terry, and Jake LaRavia. And let's look at the last. I didn't even realize this until now. The last 3 picks: Tari Eason, Dalen Terry, Jake LaRavia. That's unbelievable.
And then Branham, who you then said was your number 1 live.
This is my nightmare. I'm dying on the inside right now.
I'm all aboard the Kendall Brown train. Let's go for the future.
I would take him at 23, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, me too. I'm at the point where the guys I want would be Kendall Brown, Ty Washington, Wendell Moore, Jaden Hardy. Like, give me one of those 4 guys.
If they draft Liddell over those guys, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit, man. I'm telling you. Even though like he's a fit, I'm not a big EJ fan.
I will say I think if they draft a player, we gotta wait like 15 minutes to have a reaction, because you know how the NBA, like, they could draft them and it might just be sole purpose to ship them right the hell out.
It's true.
Probably.
Well, we're going to do a separate stream, so that's coming. It's in the private chat.
Just to talk about the Sixers pick?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. This is fucking like last year, man. Same thing. Cam Thomas.
But you knew this was coming, Chris.
I know.
This run was going to come. There's no way Easton's going to drop to 23. Come on.
I know.
No way.
Steven says, I feel like Ari Gold after he punched the wall. So pissed.
I really don't think they're keeping this pick. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
Not now. Well, it looks like Jaden Hardy.
Yeah, it does.
Like, even if they make the pick, I still. I just feel like I will be stunned if they keep a pick this year.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think they would keep Jaden Hardy, because I do think Jaden Hardy has shot making potential.
Now, is Jaden Hardy the type of kid that could get on the floor right away?
No way.
Yeah.
He's got some holes in his game, Rob, for sure.
So like for me, and I know that there's a future to worry about, but for me, it's not okay because of where we are at this crossroad,
right,
with the big guy. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if this season does not go well, you're good. Listen, that tweet that he put out during the Miami series, he knows what he's doing. That was not a soccer tweet. That was a get this shit right, or I'm going to start complaining. Like, that's how I read it.
Then start complaining about the coach, man. It starts there. All right. I understand we got to listen to Joel and all that, but you should be targeting the coach first and foremost, because he wasted 2 of your seasons. So, PJ Tucker's nice and all that, but he isn't going to move the needle, man. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Like, this guy is like telling me I'm done with Detroit fans. I'm done. I became the Pistons were my second team for an hour, and now this one idiotic guy telling me Kevin Durant loves Cade Cunningham and loves the city of Detroit. Like, people are people. And by the way, Wendell Moore goes 21. What the hell, man? What the hell, man? Like,
this is worse than last year.
No, wait, Christian, who lied? I think, did Shams just get a pick wrong? No, Jake Fisher got it wrong. Jake Fisher.
Christian Brown off the board.
It's Christian Brown. Jake Fisher said teams picking behind Denver believe the Nuggets promised Wendell Moore at the number 21 pick. So I thought that was an announcement, but
then Woj went Christian Braun.
Yeah, it was Christian.
Is it really?
I've Brown.
Been
yeah,
Brown.
It's Brown. Yeah, it's so.
You know what?
Dumb.
All these damn people changing the pronunciation. It's Braun. I don't care what the hell you say to me.
I agree. I agree.
Who the hell are you to change your name?
That sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. Like, you're Braun.
Yeah.
Shut up, Braun.
I see myself as I get older becoming Larry David and just being a friggin' asshole to everyone.
All right, guys, we are
2 picks away.
3 picks away. No, 2 picks away. Oh my God.
So who's on the board? Run the board. Who's left on the board?
All right. I'm going to run the board, then I'm going to take a piss, and then we'll probably switch streams soon.
Ty, Kennedy Chandler, no.
Ty's still there. Interesting.
Nah. Blake Wesley, he's another name that has
I'm out.
Potential.
All right. Did you say Wendell Moore just got picked?
No, he's still there.
No, he's still there. Christian Brown just got picked.
Oh, that's right. All right. So Wendell Moore for Tiago, Kendall Brown, and then Jaden Hardy. Mark has Kendall Brown, Ty Washington,
And
Wendell Moore.
Points per 40 minutes by month. So he had 11.4 in November. He scored 21.3 in March. His production has skyrocketed.
What was his usage rate?
I don't have it. I was just reading off synergy stuff.
I have Jaden Hardy, EJ Liddell, and Kendall Brown. So we're all very high on Kendall Brown and Jaden Hardy.
So here's a stat. Point production as synergy puts out. So it's points scored per 40 minutes, pace adjusted. So Keegan Murray is number 1, Tari Eason is number 3, and Jaden Hardy is number 5 of this list. So just something to think about. Where did Chris go?
He's got to get a drink or something. That guy. He's got to refill at least 10 times. Especially as the draft. I've always noticed when I do the longer shows with Chris, if things starts going the opposite of what he wants, you'll see him get up and get more drinks quicker and quicker. He's like,
yeah. Did Denver go yet?
Pick is in for Denver.
yeah.
Do we want to switch streams now, or should we wait a little bit?
The earlier the better, because you never know what's going to happen.
All right.
Just go to the
You go to the
private.
other one?
Yeah. So I'm going to close up shop, guys. We are coming right back on a separate stream just to talk specifically Sixers and the upcoming selection. So I'm going to close it down. We will see you in just a second.